What's up guys, we are back in Dustin Williams' shop. Huge shout out to Dustin Williams if you guys haven't followed him on YouTube yet. Link will be down below to his YouTube channel. This is his shop. He actually just got it kind of recently. He has a ton of cars, a ton of cool stuff. So if you haven't followed Dustin, definitely follow him down in the link in the description. But today, the Miata is still running really good. But like I said in the previous video, we do have some problems in the top end of the power range. Specifically when I'm in like 12 pounds of boost, I have like this spark type of cut. It's slight, it's not huge. It is noticeable enough where the AFRs are actually jumping to an unsafe level where the fuel actually isn't getting burned anymore, and it could lead to potential problems down the road if I do not fix it, and I'm actually getting less power out of the car because of it. What's happening is essentially I'm getting spark blowout. I believe that is what's happening, is I am losing spark at the top of the RPM range. But if I hit like around 8 pounds of boost or even 10 pounds of boost, I'm okay. It doesn't happen nearly as much. And I believe all this has to do with is the spark plug need to be gapped more aggressively. And that's typically what it is when you are losing spark in the top of your power level. Now this could be other things to do with the spark as well. It could be the spark plug wires, it could be the ignition coils, it could be something else. I'm not exactly sure yet. I'm just really hoping it's spark plugs. We got some new spark plugs today. We got a gapping tool and we're gonna be gapping them down to the correct size. But first I'm gonna kind of show you guys exactly what is going on in the car. We're gonna do a couple little pulls, nothing too major because I really don't want to get the car, I don't want to hurt the car any more than it's been hurt in the past. So we'll just do that, come back in here and hopefully fix the car. And if not, we might have a bigger problem in our hands that we might need to fix in a different video. In this world. So I'm going to show you guys the air to fuel ratio gauge as well as the boost gauge. When you notice the boost gauge gets to around 10, 11, 12 pounds, whatever it's going to get to, the air to fuel ratio will actually go from 11.5, which it typically runs at under full boost, to around 12.5, 12.8, which is not good. Is running too lean for the amount of boost pressure we're running. Again, we want to be around 11.5 so we can stay safe, not blow any heads, not blow any motors, not blow any rings, not blow anything. The idea is, I'm going to show you this right now. Boost pressure basically is going to show you that I'm matting the throttle, and then the air to fuel ratio is going to basically showing you, since it is more lean, 11 or 12.5 opposed to what I typically would want, which is 11.5. It is showing you that the fuel is not being burned correctly from the spark plugs, because the spark plugs are not sparking correctly, or there's basically spark blowout is what it's called. So let's see if we can replicate this right now. Watch, this won't happen, and I'm still gonna try to fix it anyways, but on camera, watch, it's not gonna happen. But I believe it will. It's been pretty consistent for the past day. Some of you might be saying, like, why don't you just add more fuel so you can get the air to fuel ratios down, which makes sense in theory, but again, if there is spark blowout, it doesn't matter how much fuel you add, you're actually not gonna be able to burn it if there's no spark going to ignite it. So I've had this car running at 11.5s pretty consistently, 11.5, 11.7, 11.8, super consistently, right when it got it running, right when I had it tuned to 11 to 12 PSI, and it was like that really good for a couple weeks. This has only started in the past like day or two, so this is why I know it's not a tuning issue, and it is most likely a spark issue. Pop the hood and see what the spark plugs look like. Because of fame, I'm just not that guy. Still sipping on my 40 when the cops drove by. When I go, gotta tell my... So right here is the beautiful BP5A engine. Obviously it's a little hot. This is the valve cover. These are the spark plug wires. Those are the ignition coils. The first thing we're going to do is basically pop off all 4 of these spark plug wires, inspect them, make sure there's no real corrosion on the metal parts inside, and then we'll take off these spark plugs and see what's going on.
Buying these diamonds.
I'll never meet.
So from cylinder 1 right here to 4 over here, this is what they look like on top. I'm going to do a quick Google search to see what this color actually means for spark plugs. This is an example of basically what I was just saying. I went onto Google, looked up pretty much spark plug symptoms, and there's a bunch of different looking spark plugs, and it says if there's a lot of ash deposit, this is the symptoms for that. If that's basically what a normal spark plug looks like. If it's white and basically cooked to the crisp, it is too hot. And the things you are looking at are this top piece right here and the actual place where it connects and actually makes a spark to as well. One thing I was looking at when I was looking at the individual spark plugs is they're gapped slightly differently. So I'll have a gapper tool and go over basically what each of the gaps were for the 1, 2, 3, 4 cylinders.
Also, like I said before, I have new spark plugs. These are actually courtesy of Tim. Tim gave me these because of the guy with the truck that helped me get the motor in the first place. He was in a couple of videos ago. But he helped me, or basically gave me these because he got rid of his Miata, bought a 350Z, then traded the 350Z for an IS300. So we have 4 brand new spark plugs right here. I'm going to show you basically what they look like compared to the other 4. And yeah.
So here's what brand new spark plugs look like, and here's what old spark plugs look like. I've had these on the car for about 15,000 miles ever since I turboed the 1.6. These have gone from the 1.6 to the first 1.8 to the second 1.8. So I believe it is time to switch up the spark plugs, get a new set in there, and gap them appropriately. I will be gapping all these plugs to 0.030 on the spark plug gauge, as you can see. I just checked really quickly on these. One was 0.028, one was 0.034, one was 0.034, and another one was like 0.035. So there was definitely some differences among the 4. That's probably just came from over time because I believe I gapped them somewhere around 0.032 back in the day, but we are running a little bit more boost nowadays, and it's a bigger, higher displacement engine. So I think if we go down to 0.030, we will be safe. And yeah, there's only one way to find out. Test it really quick. I'm going to get all these, the rest of the 3 gap down to 0.030, put them back in the car, and we'll go in the car again and see if we are still getting these spark blowout, essentially. The new spark plugs are in. I cleaned up the spark plugs wires a little bit. I made sure they're in the right order. If they're not in the right order, the car will literally never turn on. So always make, hey, how you doing?
Oh, hey.
Hey.
Hey. Give her a rip.
Yeah, I guess there's only one thing to do. That was a huge success. Typically before, when I would do full throttle pulls in the higher RPMs, basically where I make more boost, I would feel like a little slight hesitation, which were misfires, and that definitely helped. Putting in the new spark plugs, gapping them a little bit further down or more aggressively definitely helped. If you notice at that clip, I'm going to show you that the AFRs did get to around 12.4 at the very, very top end. I went on my computer and I just simply added in more fuel to those top end cells, and then it actually just fixed up the map a lot better to where everything is around in the 11s when I'm under full boost. Or basically when my foot is all the way to the floor, the RPMs are around 11.5-ish, but they range from like 11.2 to 11.8. So that is really, really good. When something goes your way, that is not typical with cars, right?
I know that more than anybody.
I feel like I know that. I feel like everyone that works on cars a lot knows that. Typically, you're not gonna have a win, or it's gonna take a lot of effort to get that one win. You're gonna have a lot of fails before you get the win. But this time it was super easy. I kind of had an idea of what it was beforehand, so that was kind of nice. Did my research and fixed it up really good, so that is awesome. So guys, huge success today with the spark plugs. I'm super glad that that's all it was, and a little bit of minor tuning on Tuner Studio, which is the software I use to tune essentially more gas or less gas on the Miata. Everything is good. I'm gonna drive it home. Everything was looking a lot better. I took it out for another drive just to make sure everything I did say actually was true and it actually happened again, and I was able to replicate the process again, where the AFRs were around the 11-ish area under full boost. So I'm super happy about that. There's much more to come. I am getting a new car soon. I'll probably talk about that in the next video from now, so stay tuned to that. I need a lot of help with that decision. It isn't gonna be a decision just based on what I want. I want to make it a decision based on what you guys want as well, because I'm gonna be making the videos and I want you guys to watch them. So I wanna do something you guys wanna watch as well. I'm gonna like what you guys pick. So if you guys like the video, like the video. If you didn't like the video, still like that video, comment anything. Comment anything. And bye.